friend who makes you to take hard drugs, if you have an organization that you are part of and whereby it enables you to access hard drug, cut off and run. Your future is very bright. Welcome to another strategic episode of Timothy. My name is Atta Tim Ukuta. Today we'll be talking about a topic I've titled The Opium Wars, China, India and Nigeria. In the year 1839, the first Opium War started, and it started because British businessmen who were backed by the British government were trying to impose a drug on the population, on the Chinese population. They were smuggling this drug into China and getting the Chinese people addicted. The Chinese government resisted this, and this was what resulted in the war. This drug, opium, is sourced from the poppy plant, dried and made as powder or liquid, but it is very, very addictive. This drug is also the source of drugs like codeine. It's also the source of drugs like morphine and heroin. And so these drugs have addictive and devastating effect on anybody that takes it. Even those that take it for medical reasons eventually get addicted to it. And so these British businessmen were making a kill. They were making so much money. And so when the Chinese government resisted them, the British government came to their aid and fought a war that imposed this drug on the Chinese population. Something similar like the Opium War is presently happening in Nigeria and in West Africa. Drugs, very cheap drugs that are very addictive and devastating, are being produced in India and China and are shipped into Nigeria and other West African countries. These drugs, they are devastating the young population in this nation, in Nigeria. And recently, the BBC did an investigation whereby they used a hidden camera and located the factory where some of these drugs are being produced in India. In the last 1 year, the Drug Enforcement Agency in Nigeria have caught Chinese nationals and Southeast Asian nationals who were trying to smuggle drugs into Nigeria. These drugs, they are already having devastating effects. And immediate action must be taken to stop this trend. And so, how do we go about this? For me, there are 3 strategies. Strategy number 1 is that you have to understand that this is a business. And there are unscrupulous businessmen who are involved in this trade. They don't care whether youths are addicted, whether their lives are devastated and destroyed. They don't care. They want to make their money. The government must fish out these individuals and deal with them ruthlessly with the available laws. That is the first point of call. The government must fish out these businessmen, suppliers, importers, smugglers. They must fish them out and deal with them swiftly and ruthlessly with the available laws. That is the first strategy. The second strategy is that, like as it was in 1839, whereby the British government backed their businessmen, this trade is also going on because the Chinese government has turned a blind eye to the activities of the manufacturers. Same, the Indian government has also turned a blind eye to the activities of the manufacturers of this drug. This must stop. The Nigerian government must send a high-powered delegation to India and China for their government to block the manufacture and distribution of this drug to Nigeria and other West African and African states. This is a must. Now, the third one is that there is demand. This demand must have been initiated by the manufacturers and the smugglers and the businessmen. But there is a demand, and the demand is coming from young people. So I speak to the youths of Nigeria, I speak to the youths of Africa. Abuse of drug would destroy your future. We all have dreams. Some of us want to become sportsmen, like Victor Osimhen, who is one of the hottest strikers in the world. You might want to become a musician, like Thames, one of the hottest musicians and Grammy Award winner. Or you might want to become someone like Silas Adekunle, who is a robotic engineer. Or you might want to become a writer, like the soon-to-be, I believe, Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, who would, I believe, would eventually become a Nobel laureate. These individuals that I've mentioned, drugs played no part in them living their dreams. So I say to you, young people in Nigeria, in Africa, and other parts of the world, say no to drugs. Drugs will not lead you to anywhere good. If you are getting a high from this drug, it is definitely going to take you down. It will never take you high. So, if you have a friend who makes you to take hard drugs, if you have an organization that you are part of, and whereby it enables you to access hard drug, cut off and run. Your future is very bright. I don't know if you are a drug user or abuser. Know this. It is a lose-lose situation. You can achieve your dreams without the use or abuse of drugs. So, as I've said earlier on, there are 3 ways to go about this. But the most important for me is that as a young person, say no to drugs. Thanks for listening to me. If this has been helpful, kindly subscribe if you have not subscribed. If you know someone this will be help, kindly share. This would encourage us. Till I see you again, remain blessed.